Alright, so we're just gonna do a real quick upgrade to this bike. It has some kind of crappy hand guards on here that the previous owner had put on. These are from Cycra, but they're kind of branded for Husqvarna. So there they are. All the little plastic pieces. You know, the stuff is already on there, which is nice. Metal bar ends themselves are actually really nice. So they've machined everything out. Like sometimes you'll get ones that, like these holes and stuff, are not like made for the fasteners. You gotta like tap it or whatever. So these are all really well done. What I like to do is put the type that clamp onto the handlebars. So these are a lot sturdier. So these guys, like, you'll take off these clamps and then we'll put these on in the place of those. And that's going to be way sturdier than just clamping it around the bar. They're never going to move side to side on you or spin or do anything crazy. And this is actually pretty fun, sort of, for me, I guess. I spend lots of time out here working on these bikes. Doing these little upgrades is pretty easy for the most part. Oh, that guy don't want to come off. Okay. So, good way to do this is just do one side at a time. Then you don't have to worry about getting your bars out of alignment or anything. So this guy, now we gotta just figure out what's the best place to put that. Sometimes you have to go under or over some of the cables or whatever, but that actually looks like a pretty good spot right there. So the stock fasteners, we just keep them for later for some other project. Okay. Take the other side off. I don't mind doing a couple extra minutes here just to make sure I got everything good. Clean the dust out of there. Alright, step one complete. These bars actually had been tapped already and some inserts put in. So typically what I like to do is put a threaded insert in here. It just happened by happenstance that whoever had this bike before had basically already done that job. So basically at this point all we got to do is fit this guy on here. So these are what the ones that I normally put on look like. So they're not only an insert that goes in the bar, which would end right about here, they're also a vibration damper. And I'm not going to tighten that up just yet. So if you look here, the way these are designed, there's sort of 3 tapped holes and then 3 sort of slotted holes on here, so you can kind of, depending on how your setup is, you'll figure out where to put these guys here. In my case, it's like I'm putting it in the last hole over here, but the middle hole on the bar itself. And just do the same thing over here. You kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just lining up whichever one ends up being the best fit. So it's this one in the middle. My overalls on. Overalls are a good idea. I've ruined a few pairs of pants working on these bikes. I decided, okay, I'm not ruining any more of my regular clothes to work out here, so I just got these overalls, which work awesome. Anyway, so these guys here, what you want to do is like tighten down the inner bolts first, and just get those good and tight. One thing to be careful of if you're doing this like from scratch, where these grips haven't been cut down. You notice here, like this one's already been cut, so it's never going to interfere with this bar, because typically these grips, like they have another whole ridge profile on the end, and if you're not careful with the way you cut this and put all these pieces together, your throttle won't turn. We're going to need these two pieces. And these are actually pretty cool the way they've designed. These are, again, they're a little bit different than some of the other Cycra products. So like you can see, this has like a little notch that fits into the inside of this guy, and then they get clamped on there together, which is I mean, it's just a kind of a good design. You don't have to worry about this piece flying off on you. And like there's some little barrel nuts that go on the back side here. They've actually made nice little like machined cutouts in the back to hold those barrel nuts. And then hopefully put this guy in there like that. I know that these Ultra branded units are a little bit more expensive, but I'll be honest, I think it's worth it. Maybe somebody else would think it's not worth it, but just for how much nicer the design is, and you know, they're pretty easy to put together. Obviously, this isn't taking forever. They even come with, as part of the kit, there's some additional pieces. If you notice, these are sort of ventilated, right? So yes, it gives you lots of protection for your hands all the way around. You got the bar for impact and all that stuff, but there's these kind of vents in here that let the air flow through, that they provide as part of the kit too. These little additional pieces that you can kind of put in there and screw in to close that off, like if you're in a colder climate, I guess, than what we deal with out here. And that is basically one side done. Pretty easy. And when you're done, they even look badass too. And you also don't need these clamps. So this is, I guess I'll just show that real quick. So typically this is what you would insert into the end of your handlebars. So when you start screwing this thing down, this little guy like bends these tabs out, and that's all that clamps it into your bars. And they work okay as long as you don't fall down very often. We're just gonna throw those right in the trash. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that little repair interlude, like kind of a little upgrade on this particular bike. This is our 2021 FE350, and this thing is pretty much ready for the trail at this point. That was one of my last little upgrades that I was going to do. If you like these little, workshop videos or whatever we're going to call them at this point, then let me know if you want to see some more of that stuff or more of my goofy face on the camera. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Maybe you want to come out and take a ride with us, and just, I guess you can do the like and subscribe thing if you feel like it. It's not required, but it would be great if you support us and let us know what you like for the future. Thanks.